we're in Bali right now, which is one of the world's most iconic tourist destinations, which is famous for its breathtaking landscapes and thousands of beautiful temples. It's also famous for being a prime place to party and a place where influencers seem to come to show off their Instagram perfect lives. So with the increasing social media popularity of this place, it's not surprising that in recent years, more and more tourists have started coming here and more digital nomads have started living here. And with this exposure came a lot of change. And I can say from my personal experience as someone who's been coming to this island for many years, that some of the places that you see on this island are completely irrecognizable compared to what they used to look like 9 years ago when I filmed my first video here. This drastic increase in the number of visitors has supposedly led to two major issues. An increase in the prices of everything that you can get here, and over-tourism in a way that apparently makes it hard to even enjoy the experience of visiting the island. And I think that these complaints are blown way out of proportion. And I think this is still an incredible place, and I've spent many months living here, and I think you can still have a great time here and not spend too much money if you know where to go. And in this video, I'm going to try to prove that to you. In this video, I'm going to tell you the fascinating story of Bali as we go around the island, to the volcanoes, to the temples, to the waterfalls, to the rice fields, and the beautiful beaches. And I'm going to try to do all of this fun stuff without spending $100 throughout the whole video. Let's see how far I can get, and you can judge by yourself from my adventures if this is the place for you. Let's do this. We're starting off the video from a part of Bali that I have never ever been to before, despite spending many months on this island. We're near Mount Batur, which is an active volcano. Indonesia is actually made out of around 17,000 islands, and these islands were created from seismic and volcanic activity. There's, I believe, around 130 active volcanoes in Indonesia, which is more than any other country. You might remember from my videos from like 9 years ago when I was like hiking up some of the volcanoes in Java as well. Man, and the place we're at right now is so beautiful. It's like all rice fields with mountains on the side. I don't think I've seen anything like this in this part of Indonesia. For our accommodation, we're actually staying in this guest house, which is like really nice for the price. For two of us, it's $19 for the room. It's gonna cost us like $9.5 per person. If you're staying by yourself and you want something cheaper, you could find something much more basic by yourself that would cost close to $10. Like stuff here is way cheaper than anything in Canggu or like the other more popular parts of Bali. And this place actually looks really nice. The interior looks great. There's a shower supposedly with hot water, which I'm gonna see and check in a second. The view is really nice. It's 7:22 p.m. and we're just gonna go on our scooter to get some dinner at like a local restaurant nearby because we think things close really early here. I'm the passenger princess for this video, and Santiago is driving us. Oh man, this is too dark. This is too dark. The biggest budget hack in Bali is to get your own scooter so you can drive everywhere and you don't have to spend a lot of money on taxis and stuff. It's pretty dark, as you can tell right now, but tomorrow we'll show you the scooters and tell you how much it costs. It's 7:40 right now. We're in the only place that we saw that was open on the way, which looks like a restaurant that is literally in the family's home. So when we came in, we saw like the lady who's preparing the food and the kid like literally come out of the bed and they just like start cooking mie goreng for us. So we're gonna have that. Oh, there's the kid behind us and the kid's just like running around us while we sit down and wait for the food. Terima kasih. We got this classic Indonesian dish called mie goreng, which is basically just noodles, and it costs 10,000 Indonesian rupees, which is like 60 cents. All right, let's try this out. Tastes like spicy noodles. We're getting 2 more portions of the noodles because we're just so hungry after eating that little bit. So I think we're eating like 3 each. So it's actually 30,000 rupees. Okay, I think we have enough noodles for now and we'll be full and go to bed. It's 10:30 p.m. I'm just gonna like pack up the cameras and go to bed because we gotta wake up at 3:15 a.m. to go on this hike to Mount Batur, and we didn't sleep much yesterday. I think we only slept like 4 hours because we went out in Canggu. It's exactly 3:31 a.m. and I think we're about to head out soon. We got a guided hike to Mount Batur because a friend Santiago, who's helping me throughout this video, actually tried doing this without a guide years ago, and apparently the locals wouldn't let him. It's costing us, the guided hike, per person
250,000 rupees, which is I think something like $13 or $14, but that includes the ticket, a light breakfast before we get on top, and a guide, which is not the worst deal because we're getting it through the accommodation. We're heading out. I don't know how cold it is, but it's definitely sweater weather. Yes, brother. We're starting the day off on a small scooter ride as well to the starting point of the hike. It's 3:49 a.m. We're on this bike for like 15 minutes, and it feels like we did a couple of kilometers of the hike just in the back of this bike ride, which was included in our guided trip. Our guide was telling us that we saved like an hour by taking the bike, and I think we have 1.5 hours from here. So normally that would be like 2.5 hours up if you're hiking the whole way. And it definitely feels pretty steep from this point. Okay, we had to take off the sweater really quick at the start of the hike, but we definitely needed it for the bike ride up. It was freezing. Okay, we're going through a jungle right now. Okay, we can see like black volcanic rocks on the way up, and there's patches of like red lava, is what our guide is saying. So I guess there's different kinds of volcanic rocks because this is an active volcano after all. It's a bit slippery. We could have done this with walking sticks, but since we're using cameras, we're not using walking sticks. We're gonna stop in the middle, and there's actually people selling like snacks and water bottles and other things. It's 4:58 and we got here in like 40 something minutes. Sunrise is at 6:20, so we're gonna have a light breakfast that's included as part of our guided hike. But I think if you're in shape, you don't really need to wake up at 3 a.m. Dude, we could have really woken up at 4 a.m. slept a very precious extra hour of sleep. Yeah. Because now we're up here and we're gonna be cold. For our 40-minute hike, we walked 1.3 kilometers and went up 270 meters. Yeah. And this peak is actually around 1,700 meters. I believe this is the 4th highest volcano or mountain in Bali. I feel like I'm in a campsite telling a horror story with a torchlight on my face. Yeah. It's 5:22 a.m. and our breakfast has arrived. It looks like sandwiches and eggs and sausages, which is honestly more than I expected. I thought it'd be just fruits and nothing. Is this sausage? What is that?
Chocolate.
Oh, chocolates. It's not a sausage, it's chocolates. Okay, it's 5:45 a.m. and we're starting to see the first rays of sunlight seeping through the clouds from our viewpoint. There are a lot of people here on the mountain. At least like hundreds probably right now on top of this viewpoint. We're like 15 minutes away from sunrise and now it's looking really, really pretty. I'm not from Indonesia. Yeah. It's 6:08 a.m. and we're going up all the way to the top and the views are really getting insane now. Through the mist you can see like the trees sticking out and the rice fields, the famous rice fields of Bali on the different levels through the mist. We're going up and up in search for a place that's not super crowded. Oh man, dying on camera. Managed to find a place without a lot of people. We had to go on a 10-minute short hike to get to this place, but we finally found a spot where we seem to be basically by ourselves, maybe 5 more Indonesian guys. It's way more peaceful, it feels like, than over there. I think there's literally 500 people on this viewpoint right here, and I thought this is one of the harder to get to ones where like people don't usually come to. It's insane how many people come to Bali. Okay, I think we're good for yeah, so when we were walking past here earlier, we saw these fumes and we're wondering if someone started a fire to get like better effects for their photos. And now we're looking at it and we just remembered this is an active volcano. These are probably the fumes from that active volcano. You feel like condensation, almost like steam coming up, right? It's like, it's pretty cool. Okay, I think we're finally on the way down. Might take my sweater off. And we finally saw a dog. And I was lied to by Santiago that there would be puppies here. Yeah, none of them exist. We saw monkeys, so there is some wildlife here. Now we see a lot of... Okay, I did not fall. Now we see a lot of monkeys around us. Man, there's like 50 monkeys coming out at the same time. There were like none when we were coming out. So we drove our scooters for like an hour and 20 minutes and came to this waterfall that's supposed to be incredible that I've never been to before, called Nungnung Waterfalls. The entrance for this was 30,000 rupee per person, which is like $2. Scooter parking fee was 5,000 rupee, which is like 30 cents. And it shouldn't be too far actually, but it's so far out in the north of the island, most people don't come here. Also, if you guys see me wearing a new hat, this is Santiago's hat, because I think I lost mine at some point in the last 24 hours. We've only walked for like 5-10 minutes, and according to Santiago's watch, we've gone down more than 200 meters. We don't even see the bottom, so this is gonna be a lot of walking on the way up. These steps are so steep at the end, just keep getting steeper and steeper. Now I see the actual waterfall and it looks incredible. This waterfall behind me looks like one of the most powerful waterfalls I've ever seen coming in this much space. We're gonna try to see if we can put our stuff somewhere and go in our swimsuits to get a closer look. We're gonna go give this a shot in my swimsuit. I'm gonna go give this a shot in my swimsuit. I don't know how to go past them. I don't want us to cross the water with the camera. I think this is as close I can get to this with a camera and a mic. And I'm really nervous because Santiago's holding my very expensive camera. But this is incredible. I think this is my favorite waterfall that I've seen in Bali so far. All right, this is definitely not good for my camera, but I'm doing it for the video. Oh my God. I think I fucked up both my cameras with the humidity. Hopefully it'll recover, but I tried to get the best shots that I could, and now we're gonna walk back up the 200 meters. The highlight is, I think those are some of the best drone shots of myself that I've gotten in a long time. There were some better drone shots I could have gone, but there was like this lady in the way and I didn't want to, I felt too bad telling her to get out of the way. So she's in a lot of my shots. It's just me and this like random lady watching her kids. So we've driven about like an hour and a half more, and we're staying in Ubud, which is like in the middle, or like more in the south of Bali. And we're staying at a hostel in 6-bed dorms, where each bed literally costs $5 a night. I don't know if this is the best hostel. I forgot to show you guys, but on the way somewhere there, we had like cup noodles for lunch because we couldn't find an actual restaurant. How much did that cost, do you think?
Maybe like 15.
Yeah, okay, per person it was like a dollar, like 15,000 or like maybe 20,000. I think I ate an ice cream as well. Let's say 25. Okay, so it's like $1.5 we've eaten so far, but we haven't had a proper meal today, honestly. This hostel is actually really nice. There's like a swimming pool over there. We're like in the middle of a field, a lot of bungalows and stuff. But enough about the hostel. Let me show you the scooters that we're using. So this is a Honda Vario. This is what we're driving around the island, and we're paying 100,000 rupees a day for it, which is I think $6, something like that. I know you can find it for 80,000. I've definitely like gotten it for 80,000, but we didn't bargain much when we got this. I would recommend getting something at least this big, like 125cc, so you can actually go up hills and stuff. Now we're gonna drive this and we're gonna try to get some food that is actual real food. All right, my dudes and ladies, I got a chicken burrito because I was tired of not getting enough food in my portions, and I've been losing my mind. I bought like 3 packs of Oreos, add that, like $2 to the bill. Like I've been hungry since last night. I just got like a burrito at this Western place, and it's costing 70,000, I believe, and like a Coke Zero. I'm just gonna devour this, and it's not even a big burrito, which I was hoping for. They gave us like complimentary chips with this, which is nice. Trying to try it out. Pretty good. little more about where we're at right now. We are in Ubud right now, which is cultural and religious and royal center of Bali, you could say, especially since the 1800s. I was actually here when I filmed my last video 9 years ago, visiting a couple of Hindu temples. And if you're wondering why Bali is a Hindu island, that is a really cool story. The Majapahit Empire was a powerful Hindu empire that influenced what is much of modern-day Indonesia, with its reach from Sumatra on the west all the way to Papua on the east. It lasted from the 13th to the 16th century, with its peak around the 14th century. But as Islam spread across Java, the empire eventually declined and collapsed. But many of its priests, nobles, and artists fled to Bali and continued their traditions over here. That's why Bali remained Hindu. Bali became the main center of Hindu culture in what is now predominantly a Muslim country, and preserved a way of life that disappeared elsewhere. Speaking of Hinduism in Bali, we have come to probably the most famous, or at least one of the most famous Hindu places in Bali, where I actually filmed from 9 years ago. It's Bali's Sacred Monkey Sanctuary, and we're gonna try to get in before it closes in the next 9 minutes. And parking here, by the way, costs 2,000 rupees to get in. That's like, I don't even know, like that's like 10-15 cents. We made it in with only like 4 minutes left. The ticket inside for foreigners costs 130,000 rupees. So this sacred monkey forest is actually like a Hindu temple complex that has 3 temples inside it. I think I already see some monkeys. And this sanctuary represents the Balinese Hindu concept of harmony between human beings, nature, and the spiritual world. The monkeys are actually seen as guardians of this sacred space. And this whole area is spiritual, where like nature itself is seen as a part of the religion. These monkeys are not as active as last time. Maybe because it's later in the day and they're just like very well fed by now. Man, it's been a minute since I've been here, but I forgot how beautiful this whole area was. You also see a lot of really cool Hindu statues in this complex. So I'm looking at these guidelines behind me, and that reminds me of like literally maybe one of my favorite videos ever of my life. You know, usually you have to give them snacks or bananas to get them to come to you, but these monkeys wouldn't leave me alone. They were on my shoulders, and when people were trying to chase them down with sticks, these monkeys wouldn't want to come off me. He doesn't want to leave me. And right next to a sign like this, might be honestly right here, there was a moment when 3 different monkeys sat on my shoulder and didn't want to get off and didn't want food or anything. They were just like chilling on top of me.
Oh, wonderful.
Oh, one of them left me.
ওই তোর পকেটে হাত দিয়ে খুঁজছে এখন ওরা দেখ
There's nothing there.
আর খুব একটা নেয়ার হচ্ছে না দেখ নিশ্চিন্তে বসে আছে বান্দরে বান্দর পাইছে
The bananas was a bad investment considering they just like come sit on my shoulders.
বান্দরে বান্দর পাইছে
Literally one of my favorite memories of my life. And my mom was recording it, which makes it extra cool. Alright guys, it's 5:20 p.m., a little bit past that. There's a lot of monkeys here, but there's not a lot of human beings left. I think these monkeys just look tired from the day of interacting with people, so they're not like doing anything crazy. They're not interacting with me like they were last time. So I think we're gonna head out soon, because the light is also going down, and there's only so much longer we can shoot and give you good quality shots. It's a new day and it's 12:28 p.m. And yesterday we were so tired after waking up at 3 a.m. with 3 hours of sleep, and then like, you know, we did those 2 hikes, the volcano and the waterfall. At the end, like we're at the monkey temple, I was having trouble stringing together my sentences. We went out, had some dinner. I got some pesto pasta next to the hostel, which cost like 70,000 rupees, then just went to sleep. We were planning on waking up at 5 a.m. today and taking our motorbikes here. We're in the north of Bali, like really north of Bali right now. But I just slept until 9 a.m. I needed my sleep. Even though I went to bed at midnight, I just needed sleep to properly function again. Actually got complimentary breakfast at the hostel, which was not a lot, but it was just some like eggs and toast bread and some instant coffee. That was enough for back then. We drove our scooters 1 hour and 10 minutes to the north to this really cool temple. So we're continuing with temples. And this one's called the Ulundanu Beratan. I see the name in front of me, it's a hard one. And we're gonna go in and tell you more about that. Parking for scooters again was 2,000 rupees. We had to pay for using the bathroom, which was like 2,000 rupees as well. So I guess that's another 25 cents. Right. Man, even before we walk in, there seems to be like a proper Hindu ritual going on right here. And this is called Ulundanu Beratan Temple, by the way, because it's next to Beratan Lake. The tickets for coming in cost 75,000 rupees, which is $4.50. And as I come in, I'm starting to realize that this is not just a temple, but like a massive temple complex. It's pretty big, and it seems like there's not so many tourists. I see a lot of Indian tourists, probably because it's like a Hindu temple, and India's the biggest Hindu country. But I don't see a lot of white tourists, honestly. I haven't seen any except for my friend Santiago. But we're gonna go in and explore more. Something really interesting is that, you know, the people wear sarongs, like these scarves for religious activities. And I've seen they put these sarongs on like statues as well, and sometimes on even trees. I remember seeing that last time I was in the monkey forest 9 years ago. People are like going on a speedboat. But anyways, this temple was built in the 1600s, and it was dedicated to Devi Danu, which is the goddess of water, lakes, and rivers. This is built by Lake Beratan, which is a very important source of water for the surrounding agricultural region. Like I mentioned earlier, this is a water temple. So this is a very important building actually, because this is where priests and farmers collectively decided how the water would be distributed to the nearby region for agricultural purposes and when it would be used. You know, this is very interesting because this system reflects a deeply organized spiritual society that you could say was carried over from Majapahit traditions from the Majapahit Empire that I mentioned yesterday. The temple that we just came from is part of a very ancient irrigation system that was so sophisticated that it's recognized by UNESCO. And this system was used to distribute water to all the farming communities around the temple. And a great place to see that system in action is right here. This incredible place that we're at right now is called the Jatiluwih rice terraces, if I'm pronouncing that right. And this shows how they used very sophisticated water management techniques to grow rice in steps on the hillsides, which required a lot of coordination between the entire communities that were living here, and is a very visually striking example today that you can come and watch. We're actually coming here, and they didn't stop me first, but they stopped my friend because I probably look Indonesian. And then when we're coming here, we realized we had to pay 75,000 Indonesian rupees to get in here. So they just charge you for entering the streets. I don't think this was always the case, but like someone very professional with like a list of prices came out, and we paid that per person, and that's $5. But honestly, I've never been here before, and I've been in Bali maybe like 4 or 5 months in my life. I don't know how I've never come here. This is pretty incredible, and the drive here was really nice as well. So we can actually walk into the rice terraces too with this $5 fee, so I'd recommend doing that. It's actually more like $4.5, I think, not even $5. I mean, just look at this place. I know it might look from this that I color graded this and increased the saturation, but like it looks like that in real life. I don't think I've ever seen a place this green. This is insane. Alright, there's a lot of noise, so I hope we can hear me. This is really pretty, but now we gotta drive, I think, 40 more minutes to get back to Ubud where we left our big bags, and we're not done for the day because we're about to go to another very famous part of Bali. We made it back to the hostel. Now we're gonna get the rest of our bags and drive all the way to Canggu.
It is pouring rain right now, and we are in Canggu at Lady Hostel, where we got a room for $13 a night. I hope you can hear me. And last night we got some food next door for like $2, nasi goreng ayam. And then I partied a lot, which is not gonna fit into the $100 budget. So I'm not gonna tell you can do that. You can't party on a budget in Indonesia. It's not as easy as doing that as it is in Thailand. It's 2 p.m. I just woke up like an hour ago because I was pretty hungover. We're planning on driving all the way to Uluwatu, but it's just started pouring rain, so let's see what we can do. Alright guys, the rain stopped and we managed to drive for an hour and a half to come to the south side of Bali to Uluwatu, to this beach called Dreamland Beach. Didn't seem to have any parking, surprisingly. I thought you had to pay like 5,000 for parking back in the days. I spent about like 50,000 more rupees in gas just to drive here, which is a pretty hectic drive, by the way. It's like 90 minutes of all kinds of traffic, all kinds of bad roads. By the way, I had another nasi goreng for lunch, so that was like 30,000 Indonesian rupees. But this beach is gorgeous, and this is also a surf spot where I used to surf when I was in Uluwatu like last year. But I'm gonna end the $100 video challenge from here because I think we're very close to running out of $100 if I'm doing the math right on everything. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hope this gave you an idea of everything you can do. Like a lot of the natural attractions, they're like not that expensive usually to get to. The biggest thing where you spend money is accommodation, probably, you know? So if you can stay in hostels, you save a lot of money that way. And if you're actually riding your bike around, that is the biggest saver. Otherwise, you'll be spending a lot on taxis and stuff. But it's still possible to do a lot of stuff, as I showed you, without spending too much in Bali. If you like this video, don't forget to like it. If you want to watch more videos like this, feel free to subscribe to my channel. And if you want real-time travel updates, feel free to follow me on Instagram at Nadir. I'll catch you guys in the next video from, I'm guessing, somewhere else in Indonesia.